Hey guys, KK, and thank you for joining me on a new video on my channel. This video is going to be the first of many in a big series that I'm doing where we are going to create a world which will be ready to use in Unreal Engine 5 for things like cinematics, advertisements, games, and things like that. It's going to be, like I say, production ready. We're going to start off by using Gaea for free to create our landscape. And then we're going to go into Unreal Engine 5 and create our master material using the masks from Gaea. And we're going to add things like triplanar projection, distant tiling, macro variation, and all this good stuff that you can use in your landscape material to get as high as quality as possible with minimal stretching. And basically it's just my workflow I would use to create such an environment. This tutorial is not going to be how to use Gaea. We're just going to use Gaea from the start. I don't know how to use it fully, as I've come from World Machine to Gaea. The workflow from World Machine to Gaea is slightly different, but similarities are there. So if you're used to World Machine, then Gaea shouldn't be that hard to get your head around. So yeah, what I'm going to do is choose a template in here. I'm just going to build up a quick landscape, export and import into Unreal Engine 5 and create a new project. And then from there we're going to move on to other tutorials. So like I say, I'm just going to, I don't know how to click mountain or landscape just yet. I could go for hill, but I prefer more of a outdoory environment, landscapey kind of thing. So you could choose the template here, or you could come to this little button at the side, click that and it'll give you a drop down. If you hover over these, it'll show you the kind of landscape you'll get through this template. I want some of that mountain rangey, if you like. This looks nice. This really does look nice actually, so I'm going to click on that. And what Gaea is going to do now is build it for me. Gaea do recommend, if you're using this software and you want to export at 4K, to have 64 meg of RAM. I've only got 16 and it seems to work fine for me. At the top left here you can set the resolution for your landscape, so you can go from half a K to 1K, 2K and 4K. I'm going to set it to 1K so I know what I'm looking at for when we get in Unreal Engine. I'm just going to let this build. Okay, so now that that's built, we're going to come to the top and just click save. We're going to give this a name. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a folder in my storage drive. Bridge software, I'm going to right click it, new folder, Gaea. I forgot how to spell Gaea. I hope it's, let me just move this actually. At the top, Gaea. Yeah, that's right. And we're going to open this. We're going to click saves, like so. I'm going to open this. I'm going to call this, what should we call this? World build tut, if you like. There you go. I don't know, somewhat arbitrary. We're going to click save. That's going to save our world. Okay, so at the top here, this is our viewport preview mesh quality. You can leave this at auto, or you can go for ultra if you want. It's just going to rebuild it. It may crash, I don't know. No, it's not crashed. This is just setting the quality in Gaea. This won't be a representation of the landscape, it's just in Gaea. In fact, I'm just going to set this back to auto, let it build. There you go. Okay, from what we're looking at here, I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to leave it like that, but I'm going to make some changes just to showcase what you can do with Gaea at a minimum. Like I say, it's not going to be a full-on Gaea tutorial. I want to keep it as short as possible and just get it exported and imported into Unreal Engine 5 within this first tutorial. So I'm going to come back down and have a decent look. What I'm doing here, I'm holding left alt on the keyboard and using What I'm going to do here is hold the left alt on the keyboard, left click on the mouse, hold it down, and you can just rotate. You can use the middle mouse button to zoom in and out with a wheel if you have a wheel. If you don't have a wheel, you can hold left alt on the keyboard and use your right click, hold that in, and that also zooms in and out. Okay, so at the bottom here we have our node graph for Gaea. To the left hand side we have our toolbox. This has got all our primitives and data nodes and all the adjustments we can use. I'm not going to go through all these, like I say, it's not a Gaea tutorial. There's plenty of videos out there which will showcase what Gaea can do as a whole. What I'm looking to do is just to create the actual landscape in Gaea and quickly export it and import it into Unreal. So as it stands, I like that. I'm going to click on this node. If you click on each node at the right hand side, you'll get a details panel where you can change certain aspects of that particular node. And so I'm going to increase the power of this. Just let it build. You'll see in the bottom right of the viewport, that's the build bar. And that's what I mean, it's just building. I do tend to like to let it build before I start resuming. Okay, I'm going to come back to the erosion node right at the end there, click on that and let it build. As you can see, I'll give it a bit more ridge. I do like the look of this, but I am also concerned about things like this little peak here. I'm not too sure about that. Obviously if you have a higher quality build for Gaea, like you can use 4K, it'll look a lot better. I do like it, and I'm thinking here we could make a river in our tutorial with using a shader, which could also be a good thing. We have enough room for trees and that. I'm going to come back to the Ignis. I'm going to increase the scale. Just let this build. No, I don't like. I mean, no, I don't like that. I'm going to reduce the scale back down on this build. If you followed me with my early videos for beginners with tutorials on that, you'll know that I do like to let things build before I resume. If you do that, it does enable you the software to build a lot quicker. It's the same aspect in Unreal Engine. We'll click erosion, let this build. If I do know that a build is going to take some time, I will skip it in my editing software. So you guys are not waiting. At the minute, I do like that. I like how that's the outcome of that. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time in Gaea. It's not a Gaea tutorial. I just want to get the masks out and the height map. But what I do want to add in here, which I do know is nice, if we come down to our erosion. Now this node, I can't say the word. Is it alluvium, or something like that? If we drag this in here, you can drag the node in like that, or you can also right click and just type it like so, and press down arrows, get an alluvium node as well. I'm just going to drag that into there and let this build. You'll see that our ridges become a lot more sloped and smooth. This is a really nice node to get a decent result. But like I say, you could click on a node, come in here, and see what happens if I click this. You have to, with certain nodes like this erosion node, if you make a change, come down to the bottom and hit apply changes, let it just build. That's not bad. I'm thinking here we could have like a bit of a foresty area. But it has kind of got rid of the river thing that I wanted. I'm going to reduce this back down. Apply it. Let's see what it's saying in this. I mean, we could make anyway, sorry, I'm just looking for an area in which I'm going to hit save. I'm looking for an area which we could, in our tutorials later in the season, build a river, so I can showcase water shaders. This looks alright, but I've never known a big river to come down a mountain range like this. But this area could be nice for a river. I mean, we could, when we're in Unreal Engine, we could create a new layer on our landscape and indent this a bit. But we're going to increase, once we get this height map into Unreal Engine, we're going to increase the quality in Unreal Engine anyway. I mean, there's a lot of area here that we can use. I'm going to stick with this, guys. Yeah, it gives me a lot of options, like for a bit of a forest here for a cinematic scene. We could have a river over here if you want to do a different kind of scene. There's a lot of possibilities here. Could even create a river here, but like I say, don't know many. Maybe a stream. We could indent this a bit and put a lake in it. You know, there's quite a few options. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like this. This is our structure for our mountain. I'm not sure how you create a comment box, but I'm not going to bother. What we do need first off is to right click on it. We're going to set this, pin this as underlay. What this is going to do, it's going to use this all the time. So when we're viewing things, it will always fall back to that node. That's our last node. Hit save. We're going to also right click on rename. We're going to call this height map. Mask. Height mask. What we need now is a flow mask. I think that's in the data nodes. Yep, flow mask. Don't forget you can also right click, type flow. You get your flow mask that way as well. This is going to be our flow mask. This is what will create water for us. So if I click on this, you'll see now this is creating flow within our height map landscape. I'm going to rename this. Keep flow, add mask on the end. It's my work flow, if you like, and I'm going to right click this and mask mark for import, or you could press F3 on the keyboard. What I need is some more nodes for this, so I'm going to drag in an angle node, also going to drag in a height node, and I'm also going to drag in a slope node. And we're going to use these three nodes now to create some masks for our landscape. We're going to click from this height mask here. As you can see, our angle mask is keep in mind when using these masks or these data nodes, when in Unreal, the whites of this mask will be visible and the blacks will not. By visible, I don't mean half your landscape's going to be missing. I mean when you come to texturing, the blacks won't get textured but the whites will. So we could change this angle. So if I click a minimum of 45, like so. I don't know what this bit does. Completely. What I'm thinking here is we could use this as some sort of detail map, you know, to break up some sort of texture repetition. I'm going to increase this even more. And yeah, as you can see, I've got a lot of blacks and a lot of whites. I'm going to set this as a detail map, mask, sorry. What I mean by detail mask is we could use this to blend with a lerp node in Unreal Engine and blend two masks together. So I'm going to duplicate this actually. Duplicate this node. I'm going to drag it in there, like so, import. And I'm going to switch these. So this is going to come right down to 0. And this is going to come to 45 as a maximum. And what this is going to do, it's going to flip it to the other side, like so, in conjunction with this detailed mask, and we can lerp these together if you want that amount of detail. We're going to reduce this to 45, like so, and both facing the same way. Yeah, they pretty much are, but there's a lot more detail on one than the other. I'll reduce this a bit more. Increase it actually. Give me a lot more whites. And this will give me a lot more detail. So I'm going to reduce this from 45. No, increase it, sorry. Yeah. What I can do is right click, go to favorites, combine these two together. Let's see what outcome we get. Always keep in mind when you're doing this that you can just delete the node. We've got input 2. We'll click this. As you can see now, we've got a mask here where we have grayscale on one side, so that means we can increase and decrease it, and we've also got some foothill details with that white. I'm not going to blend, I'm going to multiply actually. There you go. And at the minute there, we have some nice details of which we can add to our slope mask. Yeah, I do like that. It can also be used for texture repetition. So in this detailed mask we can use for one texture, and we can use 2 material layers and use this mask in one and blend it with another. We can get some good details here. That's what I'm thinking. So what I'm going to click on this combine node, leave it there. I'm going to press F2, call this detail mask, like so. And we can right click this and mark for export. And this is our flow mask. These are all exports. So what I want to do now is create some slope masks. So I'm going to use this slope here. I'm going to duplicate it. Keep that there. So I've got the next one ready. Putting that in there. And what this slope mask is going to do, similar to what I said before, the whites are going to display a material layer and the blacks are not. So this could technically be a ground. So we've got 0 to 45, we could change the fall off if we want. About the amount of blending between both that there is. If you look at the bottom of this foothill here, I mean the detail's not great. If we decrease that mask, you'll see that the blend comes further down the slope. I'm going to set this to 15. And that's just going to give us a little bit of blending room here at the bottom. Like so. Yeah, like that. This could be our, what should we call this? Our base mask. Okay, so I'm going to rename this. Click the node, rename. That's our base layer mask. Like so. And we're going to right click and mark for export, like so. So we've got our flow mask, our detailed mask for texture repetition, and our base layer. I want another slope because I want to get our slope angle. We'll do this. As you can see, it's not much difference. We've got to change these minimums. So if I set the maximum to 100, so, and I set the minimum to 47. And what this is going to do, as you can see with the base layer, all our whites are on the base layer, but on the slope mask, all our whites are on the slope. And maybe there's a bit too much slope there. Let's reduce this maximum. So, it's not the maximum, I want to reduce it to the minimum. I don't want to reduce it, so I want to increase it. There you go. And what this is doing is protecting us, it's just giving us the slope mask. This is going to be used to display our rock layer, on the contrary to our base layer. As you can see, them whites will display our base, and these whites will display our rock, but it won't be affecting the base. But there is a blend. So I'm going to press F2 on this, call this slope layer mask. like so. So now we have a flow map, which we could use to put water in, if you like. We have a details mask for texture repetition. This can be used on both the slope and base layer mask, like so. I'm going to hit save. Save what we've got. What else do we need? What I do want, I come to this and check it out. I want some snow for the top here. So to do that, we've got a height mask here. Oh, sorry. I'm going to drag out of here into our height. We'll click on our height node. Let's set this minimum. There you go. We'll increase that maximum a little bit. We don't need much. 45% height as a minimum. I'm going to go with 38. That's too much. So I'm going to increase that to 42. So like I've said multiple times in this first tutorial, that the white's displaying the black stone. So this is a good starting point for our snow caps. So I'm going to press F2 on it, and F1, F2. I'm going to call this snow cap mask. Okay, so now we have a snow cap mask. We have a slope layer mask for our slopes. It's not too bad. Let's see what happens if I reduce that. No, I need to stop reducing that. I need to keep that at maximum. 90. No, I like that. I do like it. That's our slope layer mask. I'm going to right click, mark for export. We're going to right click the snow cap, mark for export. We have our base layer mask, which is ready for export. I'm going to click save again. It's always good to save, just in case we get a crash, and then we've got it all saved. So what we've got, we need our height mask. We're going to right click it and mark for export. That's our height mask, our flow mask, our detail mask for texture repetition, our base layer, slope layer and snow cap. I'm just trying to think if we need anything else. No, we don't. So now as it stands, I'm happy with how that looks, and these masks that we've got, all these will be really good, and the height mask. And we're going to come over to build. On the contrary to what everyone believes, everyone thinks the height mask needs to be raw. It doesn't, it really doesn't. Sometimes in Unreal Engine 5, the raw mask won't work. It just leaves a terraced amount. So set this to PNG. Set them all to PNG. PNG is guaranteed to work in Unreal Engine 5. I read that on the forum. Don't bother with PNG 8. That's just a different bitrate. It's not gonna. It'll just affect it to be worse anyway. We're going to leave it at normal build. We're going to change the resolution. We can only do a maximum of 1K. If we do 1025, this will export and import well into Unreal Engine. I'm going to hit save one more time. I'm going to change our build area. Where did we create that folder? So Gaea. Saves, and we're going to call this world build top. Like so. And now we've got our world builds. We're going to open this up. We're going to select folder. We've got all our masks set up, ready to go, and we're just going to hit build. I'm just thinking. Let me think before we do. I'm just thinking about grass types in our landscape material. I'm going to get an RGB node, the mix node. What's this? I'm going to cancel that. It's a bit strange. Anyway, yeah, moving on. This is an RGB mix. What this will do is use it as a texture in Unreal. It'll have a red, green and blue channel. I'll show more about this in the next video when we import it into Unreal Engine. So we're going to drag off the base layer and set that to the red channel. We're going to drag off the slope layer, and that's going to be the blue channel. And the snow cap's going to be the blue channel and the green channel. As you can see, it's color coded now. So we have our snow caps up here, which is the blue channel. As you can see, it's slightly blue up there, a bit of purple there, I don't know why. The green channels are sloped and the red channels are base. We're still going to mark these for export, but I do want them to be in one texture as well, so we're going to mark these for export as well. I'm just going to add them up here. I'm going to change this name to Stat Mask, like so. And we're going to change this to a PNG as well. Everything else is the same, that's the same. And what we're going to do now is build. You'll get this error. It just basically is meaning the height mask is already built. You just create a cache of it. Just press yes. Okay, so as you can see, we've got all our masks. This is going to be it for this tutorial because I don't want it to be dead long. But we've got all our masks. We've got our height map, flow mask, base mask, and all this good masky stuff. In the next video, we are going to create a project in Unreal Engine 5. We're going to set up our plugins that we're going to be using and set up our scenes, and then we are going to import our height mask and all our masks into the folder structure we're going to create as well, and then we'll go from there. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, I hope you liked it. So thank you. I'll see you next time.